I grew up being Christian, but as I grew older, I kind of realized that a lot of it is not something that I believe in or really think it's true.
A lot of people today think that belief in Christianity is irrational, gullible, foolish, or even just plain weird.
I sort of tend to think of the Bible more as historical fiction.
I think it's just mythology.
I think it's weird.
We do live in a post-Christian age that is becoming increasingly hostile to religion and Christian faith.
Are we witnessing the fall of Christianity in America?
I personally cannot personally accept the fact that he's a son of God.
After the Bible that teaches you to love your neighbor as yourself.
Perhaps as many as 16% of people now identify as having no faith of any kind, and that's double what it was a decade ago.
Faith, by definition, is believing in things without evidence, and personally, I don't do that because I'm not an idiot.
Religion is losing its influence in American life.
A number of surveys have actually shown that 60 to 90% of Christian kids lose their faith during college.
There's a real crisis for faith in this country now.
And to make matters worse, most Christians have absolutely no idea what to say when someone asks them why they believe in Jesus versus something else. Why not be a Muslim or a Hindu? Or better yet, why be anything at all? Why faith in Jesus? Why not faith in Islam or the Tooth Fairy? What makes your faith any different than theirs? Christians ought to have a good answer to that question. But the problem is that the answers Christians usually give to that question are in fact very bad. Bad answer number one, that's just what my parents taught me. That answer may be okay when you're 5, it's not okay when you're 25. Bad answer number two, well, I just believe on blind faith. Well, so does everybody in all the other different religions too. What makes your faith any different from theirs? Bad answer number 3. My faith is based on a strong feeling or sentiment. Christians are not the only ones with strong feelings or sentiments. A lot of people have strong feelings and sentiments about their religion. That doesn't make yours any different than theirs. Feeling is not knowledge. Sentiment is not knowledge. You need something more.
Manifestly, if you don't have people prepared to give answers, then you do a disservice to those who come to you with questions.
You know what makes this so sad is that there are good answers to this question. And the reason why is that traditionally, Christianity has had a very strong intellectual tradition. Christianity has appealed to some of the top thinkers and the top minds in the history of the world. In fact, Christianity is the most well thought out worldview on the planet. But the problem is that Christians have forgotten all this and have instead adopted a warped and distorted, anti-intellectual, blind faith, counterfeit form of Christianity that is better known as the heresy of fideism. The heresy of fideism can be better characterized as Santa Claus Christianity because it is in fact a Santa Claus for grown-ups. But it doesn't have to be this way.
The resurrection hypothesis is by far the best historical explanation.
There's only one honest reason for believing in anything, namely because you think it's true.
The true Christian position is that God has acted in human history, and in doing so has left traces of His activity, traces that are open to rational investigation and argument. So in other words, from all the different religions in the world, human reason can determine which one of those religions is true. This is because God has stamped His revelation with certain identifying marks so that the true revelation from God can be distinguished from all the false claims made by charlatans and phonies. You see, reason and evidence are the strong points of Christianity. These are some of our best weapons, and it is utter foolishness to just lay these weapons aside in today's culture war. People need to be shown today that it is possible for intelligent, well-educated people to rationally accept Christian belief.
I would say that the single greatest need for Christians today, Catholic and Protestant, is the kind of intellectual formation so that we are grounded philosophically and historically in the evidences for our faith as Christians.
There has never been a better time for a complete course in defending traditional, old-school, orthodox Christianity to the modern secular world. Arm yourself with a first-rate program in Christian apologetics and clear out all the mental roadblocks, confusions, misunderstandings, and falsehoods that keep people from taking faith seriously. Learn things like how to show that the Christian faith is true using reason and evidence. How to give powerful arguments that show Jesus was in fact the divine being he claimed to be, and why the convergence of these arguments provides a solid intellectual basis upon which an act of faith is rationally justified. How to expose garbage like there is no evidence that Jesus ever existed and other such nonsense. How to show someone that there is truth in religious matters. How to set the record straight about what faith really is and why Christian faith is not in any way a Santa Claus for grown-ups. How to refute the claim that belief in miracles is irrational or unscientific. How to debunk assertions like the Bible is just a bunch of stories. Hey, go toe-to-toe with intellectual bullies. Think of this as a course in mental jiu-jitsu, a course that teaches you how to neutralize the attacks of atheists, skeptics, and other unbelievers.
The historical case that Jesus regarded himself as a divine being, I think, is quite simple. And I think people make this a whole lot more difficult than it needs to be.
You can trace all this stuff to within a year of the cross. 1 year. Is 1 year good for you? I mean, in the ancient world, you tell me what can be traced to a year.
The idea that somehow the miracles are discredited by science is absurd.
How is it that all of the early witnesses get the idea that Jesus is somehow God?
Something happened. Something happened. I think we all have to agree with that. Something definitive, extraordinary happened.
The evidence for Christianity is looking really good right now.
One can't emphasize enough the importance of making the case for Jesus in the modern marketplace of ideas. Take some time to invest in the important things and defend what you love. Christian ignorance needs to stop. Train your mind for Christ's sake.